Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, beloved, y'all appreciate you. I just wanted to chime in. It's interesting when people try to say they don't see and they've never heard evidence of black people being in the Americas before Columbus or the slave trade. That's absolutely false, because every time we present the evidence, they just get on some I'm a tether and I say so and just deny it. There's plenty of evidence of black people on this land. Black people, as the good lady said earlier, we were inhabiting all of the earth. We are the original inhabitants everywhere. I've been to Asia and I've seen jet black people with woolly hair. I've been to Polynesia. I've seen people in Polynesia who look like black people in Harlem. All of these black people going to these different corners of the earth, you think they didn't come on this large landmass? Black people were the first inhabitants here before the red Siberian native people. That's the thing people don't want to talk about. The Siberians came later. When you do archaeological digs, they're digging up Negroid looking features from the people that were here for thousands of years. When you look at Luzia woman, which is the oldest remains found in this landmass, they did a reconstruction. They proved that this was a woman with Negroid features. YT scientists said this. This is a fact. When you look at the Olmec statues, and I've seen all of them, these are Negroid features on these statues. You have YT scholars like Constantine Raffines in the 1800s who proved that there were black tribes here, indigenous for thousands of years. You had Pizarro, who was a European explorer who came over here and saw people who looked like the folks in Ethiopia, which is what they called Africa at the time. Balboa and all of these other European explorers, they all saw black-skinned, woolly-haired people on this land. You have people like Leo Werner back in the early 1900s writing books about the black Aboriginal people on this land. You have another YT German scholar, Von Wutenow, who wrote books in the 70s showing figurines of Aboriginal statues and trinkets that look like Gucci Mane that's been here for thousands of years. So anybody saying that there's no evidence of black people being here, they're just being intellectually dishonest. Even the name America, many people believe that comes from the Amerindian people down there in Central America, which were a black-skinned people. Some of them are still there. We have so much evidence, even in slavery. There were a lot of people who were enslaved, black people, who actually got their freedom because they proved that they were really Native American. And there were a lot of freedom suits that people were going to court over to get their freedom. This is why they start to try to erase our indigenous part of the lineage, because we were using that to our advantage. They had to try to Africanize us to make us seem like foreigners on our own land. There was a big movement in the early 1800s and mid 1800s of Foundation of Black Americans saying, hey, we need to cut that Africa talk out because they're trying to foreignize us. So there's a lot of evidence that we are indigenous and we are the original inhabitants of this land.